Hey guys, I'm Jonathan, and thank you so much for joining me today here in this new YouTube live streaming. And today, I will show you how you guys can design an logo app for App Store, Google and App Store. And before we get started into our design class, let me show you what we did in our Patreon class. All right. For example, here we did already this character, and I show you how you can create a stylized version of this character, as you can see here. And you guys can access my Patreon, where I teach you specific lessons. All right, and I really try to bring really nice tips using Affinity Designer on desktop and iPad Pro. And of course, you guys can grab all these lessons on there. Okay, so thank you so much if you are already my Patreon. And let's see here what we have done in our lessons. Look, we did here this project, since the character, this enemy, these interfaces, and then the background, as you can see over here. We did almost all the entire project using the Affinity Designer on desktop, but I'm gonna use today the iPad Pro, because I think it's very nice to show you the way that you guys can work professionally. All right, and guys, I hope you guys can hear me well, because I don't know if my internet is good today, but I hope so. And look, we did already the background, the character, enemy, interface, and logo icon. All right, as you can see, everything is pretty nice to me. And let's keep doing this. Let me open here my screen for the iPad. All right, and look, we have all the assets already here, but the focus for today is to make the logo app icon. All right, so I have here some tips to give you guys about the logo app icon. All right, and this means a lot about graphic design skills. If you don't have graphic design skills, you need to have in mind and keep in mind that you need to keep everything clear, for the user, the people that will see and understand what your icon will mean. You know what I mean by this. For example, the camera, as you can see over here, the camera represents the camera, of course, but if someone places here a 3D camera with a lot of details and realistic, maybe these are not going to be recognizable in a small scale. For example, if we resize this in a small size, this is one of the best tips to recognize what your icons mean. All right, keep in mind about this. And the thing is understandable in a small size. All right, let me grab here this raster mode and create a pixel layer in order to show you. Okay, look, don't forget that you guys can download these assets here on my Telegram club. All right, the channel is gonna be available at the link here below. And let's get started here by grabbing the character. Look, I'm gonna try to choose this character in our logo. And look, you guys, it's very important to look for references, to have more ideas and to see how the things works. Look, let me open here the App Store. The App Store is here, and you guys can have a lot of ideas. As you may know, I'm a game artist, and I do art for game specifically. And look how is beautiful is these icons. Of course, this is more a top icons that Apple show you, but you guys can have more ideas. And for example, think about a team. All right, for example, let me type here. Let me just duplicate here and type. So think, search for a topic. Okay, hello 𝚃𝚞𝚝𝚒, search for a topic. Okay, so this topic, what is this topic? If I ask you about the Witcher, I'd say it's a medieval, sword and witchers, things like that. And if we try, let's open here again to look for something like Witcher, you know. Let's see. Probably gonna show us. Look here, we have these references already. This game here, look how the design works, and you guys can have these ideas, you know, this composition, and it's very nice. And you guys can try to look for more references and have even more ideas. All right, and look how you guys can do that. You can just select here and grab this. I think we can use this style as well. All right. Okay, so first of all, we have a rectangle. All right, you guys can insert a rectangle right here. Just draw this rectangle, all right, and try to keep this like a square. Okay, try to keep this like a square. And of course, as you can see, the apple has this kind of rounded corners, and in order to round this, I ask you to use this one, corner 2, or you guys can select this option and make this rounded. Quite simple. All right, and let's add a stroke. Let me change the color already. All right, let's start here with the background. I'm not going to make some sketch for this one. Look, I stroke. Okay, so you guys can see better now. If we grab something in that color that we saw, this stroke here, I'm going to make some kind of golden effects, you know. Let's see. In order to do that, for example, guys, I'm gonna use the fill tool, and here below you guys can see the stroke icon that you can change, you know, this stroke. It's very important. Okay, look, let me activate here this dark background so you guys can see better, I think. Okay, and to make this kind of gold effects, you need to make more points. Okay, so we have here yellow and orange, and to make this sounds like a gold, you can create more points by clicking in this line and just add the luminance right here. Okay, as you can see, and look how the light comes over here, and create a bit more red and orange, you know. Try to make this variance of colors, you know. Don't try to use just yellow. Yellow doesn't work so well for gold representation. Okay, maybe this we can bring it to white or something like that. All right, so we have this first stroke, and we can start right now by doing the background. Let's see which background we can use. We have the character here, right? And look, of course, this is a very static version of this character, and in case you want to add or create a more, you know, dynamic character, you're gonna need to draw, you know. Let me save this by clicking here. For example, let me open the raster persona. Okay, and let's draw here a quick sketch. And protect alpha. If this option is activated, it's going to draw only on the raster pixels. All right, so what you can do is to place the head over here. Make sure that you have this kind of line. Okay, think about photography, you know. In photography we have this kind of lines where you can centralize your design. Okay, it's very important. And for example, if we add a kind of enemy or sword, whatever you have in your mind, you need to respect this grid. Okay, and this, as this is a square shape, we are doing this 4 spaces. All right, I know this is a bit difficult, can sound a bit difficult if you are a really beginner, but the key point is try to respect the spaces between these areas. All right, for example, let me place the character already here. Okay, I'm going to drag and drop the character inside of this vector, this rectangle. Okay, look, but if you just do this, maybe the icon will not be so great. Right, try to make something more dynamic, more attractive and appealing. In order to do that, let's increase more the size over here. Okay, and look, we are trying to follow the center line. Okay, this is a sketch, but you guys can use the guides. Okay, the grid or in the guides. Look, I can add here, there is a line. I don't know if you guys can see, but there is a grid over here. Okay, look, let me see here. I think it's because of the color. You can change the color. There are some options here below. Okay, so keep in mind about this. We have this grid. Okay, and look, let me deactivate the background. So we have this grid, and it's very awesome because you can try to use the snapping tool in order to respect the resize and transform tools. All right, okay, so let's add a bit more expression to this character. Let's see here, maybe in the front view you can change the perspective. It takes a bit of time if you try to redraw, but let's duplicate this. I really advise you about try to duplicate in order to make backups. All right, the objects you have here, the objects, and it's very important to make the backup. And let's make this our front view. For example, change here the eyes to here. Maybe the nose we can bring. I'm doing some adjustments of this character. Let's add some expression. If I tell you that when you think about expressions, let me edit this. Let's make something a little bit crazy. Okay, look, to close the path, you just need to click here, close. All right, and it's gonna close the path. Okay, I know this is a bit horrible, but we are adjusting here. Look, and you guys can add some tips. Let's just by creating, let me show you. I'm gonna use the paint tool, but you guys can use rectangle, whatever you want. And keep in mind that you have these layers here, and you just need to drag and drop inside of this one. Okay, and you guys can see here this mouth shape, and you can make some adjustments over the lips. Look, it's very nice the way that you can deal with the vector tools. Okay. Look, it's very nice. And I will draw here the tongue, for example, insert inside and draw this shape and just change the color. All right, it's quite simple. And there is a stroke here that is not very good because look, you can adjust here, and you have these options already to change if you want, the alignment of the stroke, if you want to apply the stroke inside, in the middle, or outside. Look, everything is already changing here. Let's change here the hair position. Okay, and this one will be placed right here. Oops. Okay, let's change or this one. I'm changing the character to be in the front view, all right, not in the half side view. So as I'm dealing here with vector, you don't need to redraw all the entire design. So that's very nice. Okay, let's change here this ear a little bit. You guys can group this. Okay, and this eyes is a bit you know, small than another one. Let's delete this one. I'm gonna delete this one, and I will try to flip this. All right, and this head, let's try to look this hair here. Look, I'm thinking about to add a stroke. I don't know, maybe not. You need to figure out how the design works, you know, with the art style you want to apply. And look, when you are dealing with vectors, keep in mind that you are almost modeling in like 3D. You know, you have some vertices, the low polys, things like that, and you guys basically just take your time to adjust these points, you know, create some points and adjust. Try to keep your design clear about the nodes, because node is something that is very difficult to deal with if you have so many. All right, so be careful with that. I'm just taking my time to adjust here. All right, the nose here, I'm gonna change a little bit because we have this direction, you know, if we apply this. And let's do something a little bit different. I'm going to use the pencil tool, and of course let me save this already. Okay, hello Gonzalo, thank you mate, I really appreciate that. Look, I'm going to draw a shadow here below. All right, this is our layer, and let's use the fill tool and draw this shadow. Quite simple, and keep in mind to draw this inside of this layer. Okay, and let's change here. Look, you guys can add a bit more details if you want. In this case, I'm using a more flat style, not so much details. Okay, and this is the nose. I'm gonna create a different aspect here. Look, these iris brows will be placed above the eyes, all right, to make angry expression. And I will try to make maybe this eyes a bit bigger to call more attention, you know? And look, I will try to make a kind of, let me first duplicate these eyes. Or look, you guys can use the symbols, all right, add symbols. And in this case, first of all, you have to, let me back here. First of all, try to group these two objects, group them, and we have now this group. Click here, add symbols from selection. You're gonna have these new eyes. Okay. And you guys can flip now. And let's unsync this eyes highlights. We have highlights over here, you know. And look, I'm gonna unsync this and place this one to here. Okay. It's not too difficult if you do this slowly. Okay, increase this to make a bit angry. He's angry. And I'm gonna add more expression, you know, a shadow behind of these eyes. All right, how you guys can do that? Look, I'm gonna use the pencil tool and draw here this shape. Look, this shape here. Okay, like a mask. Think about a mask. In this case, I'm going to use the transparency tool and make a blending effect over here. All right, very simple. And you guys can soft this if you want by clicking here, Gaussian blur, and soft this. All right, but let's see with this flat design. In this case, I'm gonna just reduce a little bit the transparency. I'm just show you how you guys can deal with different art style if you want. If you want, you know, more soft design. It's very important to keep this in mind. About the ears, we have this shape. Let me show you. Can you see this? There is this shape alone, this line, and look, you guys can close this. Click here, close, and as you can see, the line is closed, but I want to make this in the outside. Just click here. All right, click here, and you guys can grab this color and fill with this color here. And look, we have this stroke. In order to fix this, you know, I want to make this side here without this line. You can do in this way. You can reduce the stroke here and see where is, you know, the line. All right, look, if I change here, you guys can see these curves, and this is already enough, you know. There is other ways to do that by using the erase mode and erase the line if you want. I usually do in this way, okay, but it's up to you. Here, does this a little bit. I can now duplicate this to another side. Let me duplicate this. And look, let me repose the face. It's gonna be placed over here. The chin, let me change as well. Remember, this character has you know, bigger chin, a bigger jaw, you know, so keep in mind about that. It's very important to understand a bit of human anatomy in these cases. Okay, and the face, I'm gonna adjust here the expression to more the center line. Look, this is the face group. And guys, my tip when I give to my patrons is always about organization. You know, try to keep everything organized in order to not lose yourself in this process, because, you know, it's very important to keep everything organized. Let me change this a little bit, the color here. Okay, and this is sort of a beard. Just change here a bit more to dark and gray. All right, and the nose, I think we need to change a little bit. As you can see, it's much more about adjustments. If you want to have this shortcut, you know, I'd say that. And the hair, let me, oops. change a little bit to here. Okay. Take your time to fix this. And the head is behind. Alright, look, the head is behind. Alright, so we have the head already done. Look. It's very crazy. And the cool thing, guys, is that, look, you can just, let me hide here the body. We have the body behind. Let me group them. This is the body, and there is our arm here, you know. Let me just hide this in order to show you that you guys can do just one icon with the head if you want. All right, and let me do an effects here just to show you. Look, I'm gonna use the elliptical mode. All right, elliptical mode. Change here the color. Let's do something a bit vibrant. Maybe let's see this color here. There's another way that you guys can do. It's very nice if you have some layer effects. For example, let's add this cog. This one, change this color here. All right, and look how nice it is. In these effects, you guys can change this to here. Look, there is a point. Reduce into here. Place this behind of the character. Okay, inside of this one, resize this. And be careful, I'm not going to make this to look like a circle, you know. Let's see. I think a bit too white. And the background, look, we have our game here, you know. Where is the game? Think about this composition, you know. We have this composition. And let's try to copy this composition here. Copy. All right, and I'm going to open here this icon. All right, I'm going to duplicate this shape. Of course, we have now two icons, but don't worry, I'm going to delete this character just to show you. And keep in mind about duplicate to make the backups. All right, let's click here, paste style. Ah, look how nice it is. We have that texture applied over here. Okay, it's very nice. Let's drag and drop here below now. And look, you guys can change here the effects of this layer, you know. And this color here, I'm going to change this really. Okay. For example, let's add more contrast to this icon. I have the body over here. All right, let me increase here the body, like he's in profile mode. Okay, keep in mind that I have two icons here. Let me save this before we maybe lost. I don't know. Let's change here the body position. Okay. Ah, there's our arm over here. Okay. Let me place this behind of the head. Oh, look, there's a nice way, guys, that we have, for example, an apple over here. Look, let me just. Ah, it's true. Look, you guys, I'm trying to figure out here where is the sword. the sword we have here. All right, let me just place here above and you guys can see we have the sword right here. Okay, and the sword I'm going to place behind of this character. I think we can look, just place over here. Okay, place behind, not this one, of course, behind of the body actually. Okay, and there is a shoulders over here that is missing, and you guys can just apply to here, look, and change this position. Okay, and let's see this color here. I'm going to change and bring a bit of transparency to this color because I'm not liking so much. Elliptical. Okay, and there's a lot of lines here. It's because of this shape, but you guys can change, you know. Can you see these lines around here? You can change the amount, you know, if you want. So, but this one I think is very nice, to be honest. Try to keep maybe 7, 8, I don't know. Guys, I will read your questions at the end of this tutorial. All right, and don't forget that you can grab my more tutorials on my Patreon. Okay, let's change it a little bit because it's behind, you know, the hair. Okay, so another way that I'm gonna add more, let's see, I want to bring a more concentration in this inside icon, you know. Look, I'm gonna try to use the inner glow. Let's see, inner glow. Look how the contrast is being applied. It's very nice. And if you are wondering about this character, I did this and I've released it on my Patreon already. Okay, and look, I think it's very nice. Let's do a test. I will show you here. We have this mockup. All right, let me hide this. There is too much infos in my screen. Oops. Look, we have the mockup right here, and we have our icon already done. Let me deactivate the grid, the guides actually. So as you can see, we have the guides. All right, so you can deactivate the guides, and let me just place here. This is our icon. Okay, and remember that you guys can change anything if you want. All right, the head, the body shape, whatever you want. I'm a bit bothering with this hair. Let's see here. I think he has a big hair. I think it's better now. If you guys develop this kind of, you know, a bit perfectionism, you have a bit of problems when you are dealing with your projects. But don't worry, we are just fixing here some details. All right, it's pretty cool. Okay, all right, so our icon is done. Let me just make the test here. For example, I'm going to duplicate this icon, all right, and place to here. And look, I will try to use now the symbols, all right, but be careful with some issues that you guys can have. For example, if you are dealing with layer effects, maybe you guys will see some issues because of the resize of this icon. Let me show you in a practical way. Add this symbol, all right, and let's make a backup here in order to keep everything saved. All right, okay, so we have these symbols, and in this symbol section I'm going to insert another one, and I will try to reduce this. And look, we have the stroke getting bigger if we reduce. Why this is happening is because of this option right here. There is an option that is called scale with object. All right, there is this option called scale with object, so keep in mind about that. Let me just change here. Look, and you guys need to deactivate this option, you know. Let me open here again and deactivate all of this. Select all these characters, click here on this panel, stroke panel, click here, deactivate this stroke. All right, let's see if these are going to work. In this case, what you guys can do, click here, rasterize. Okay, this has become a raster. Okay, this one here, and you guys can place right here and see how this will look like. Okay, look, and this is how of course the app will be displayed in the mobile phone of your player, you know, your user. If you are dealing with something like graphical design, like, you know, this email, it's the same process. What change is you know, the determinant that you're gonna use here. And as I'm not using the symbols in this one here actually, because it's not working what I was expecting, but don't worry. And you can do some variations. All right, for example, if we click here color overlay and click in these options right here, you guys can review your design. This is a more technical way to understand about your design. Look, why I'm telling you this, because remember about the tips that I told you before. Okay, we have these tips. Look, when you are dealing with graphic design, guys, you need to keep everything clear, understandable. And the good thing about to use this test here that I'm using about the color overlay and using this contrast negate is to see where is the spaces between the white space, which is called negative space, and positive space. It's like yin yang, you know, that like that. And you guys can use also the color, you know, this one here, to see the better way to contrast, because when you are dealing with colors can be a little bit difficult to understand about, you know, the our entire composition. And look how nice is this one, you know. And you guys can do this process to get better results in your design, and this is my really great tip to you. All right, and guys, I think we have done now for this tutorial, and we have completed right now all the, let's see here, our tasks, you know. Look, we did the background, the logo icon, a background, character, enemy, interface, and logo icon. So let's complete this by just change the color and make this one here. And look, I'm going to place these assets on my Patreon. All right, so you guys can download on there. This is just to help me, you know, to keep doing this exercise. It is very awesome, you know. Let's show you here. This one here, guys, this is the last test tutorial that I did on my Telegram and Vectorize club. All right, you guys can get into this link here, and I will be able to review the results for the people that will send me your result, your version, you know, the exercise from this one. All right, And let's see here. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Let me open here. Thank you so much again for this amazing, your time, and keep safe about this quarantine moment. Okay, and see you in the next week. All right, bye, guys. See ya.